To my dear students, mine, those of my colleagues, those of my country, those from any corner of the world, anyone who claims to be a student, this is a message for all those who haven't had their turn yet. That's all. Those who haven't had their turn. No explanation needed. Because all of us who have already had our turn always know what we're talking about. But for those of you who perhaps don't know, we need to warn you that at some point everyone in every generation gets their turn. So this is a message for everyone who doesn't know what it feels like to be persecuted, locked up, or slaughtered because of your skin color, nationality, religion, or sexual orientation. For those who never had to do daily drills in their schools in case that from one moment to the next the world came to an end. To those who don't know what it feels like to lose your democracy, your freedom of movement, to lose your brothers, your children, your grandchildren at the bottom of the sea. For those who do not know what it feels like to receive 2 murderous bombs in your backyard, to see the bodies piling up, to see the security barriers and the injustices being in place. To those who don't know what it's like to witness how hunger and despair take over the souls of your fellow citizens, to watch them lose their sanity and lose their minds over and over again. For those who did not have to see reality desperately surpassing fiction, changing it all forever. To those who did not understand why there are countless shoes hanging from electricity cables in a corner of Buenos Aires. To those who didn't have to learn the hard way that you do not hit a teacher. To all of you students, we need to tell you that unfortunately sometimes it gets to be your turn, and that when it is your turn, everything is very difficult to understand, because turns usually pervert the limits of perception. When it is your turn, the air thickens, it gets crammed with silence, in the streets, at home, in your parents' eyes. We already know it's not fair, that this is not the way you thought you would be spending this time. But that's the thing with turns. It's never a good time for it to be your turn. It's never fair. It's never what we choose. That's why we call it a turn, because it tackles, strikes, and transforms you. And even if it is unfair, very unfair, when it is your turn, life suddenly asks you, how are you going to face it? What role are you going to want to play? And life is going to need an answer to that question. Dear students, today it's your turn. It's all our turns. One of those important moments in history. One of those moments which history is made of. For several days now, the schools have been closed. We cannot go. You cannot attend your classes in your classrooms. Neither can you play in your break times nor talk with your teachers. Since this mandatory quarantine, many of your schools took the heroic initiative to take the first step. From one day to the next, they set themselves up to reinvent the traditional logic of a school that has more than 200 years of experience and start again from scratch. Professors, teachers, and educators, in some cases with no experience in digital education, took their classes to the cloud, redesigning their proposals, and today they are already organizing web sessions to teach their students. Your teachers are exploring new and challenging resources to communicate and learn with you, with your minds, bodies, and souls. And they did it. They went through the thick fog of inexperience to reach out to you and bring you some calm, and to extend the hand that seals the oath that swears that the relationship between a teacher and his students can never ever be suspended. As teachers, as educators, we ask of you to be our partners and protagonists in the task of keeping schools open. Not school buildings, but schools. The idea of a school, the project of a school, the dream of a school. Dear students, wake up early, wash your face, and get ready to learn with us. Do your homework, answer your messages, meet the dates, be present at your web classes. Do your test and read the texts. Ask what you don't understand. Make suggestions, make suggestions, make suggestions. We were not prepared as we would have wanted for this situation. So many of the things we'll propose you to do may not turn out as well as we thought, or might carry mistakes. technical, human, logistical, mistakes of all kinds. We're giving it all we've got, but we are sure that we could not do it alone. We need you, our students, throughout the world, so that you can also roll up your sleeves and help us plant the seed of a new school that we need for a new world, one that is today telling us that it is our turn. We want to know, we need to know, that we're going to be able to count on you, with your patience, your collaboration, and your love, if we're going to want to overcome this together. We need to know that you feel the same as we do when we say that this can take many things away from us, deprive us of many things. But school is not negotiable. Dear students, many years from now, when all this has been almost an old parenthesis in our history, some small child who probably still didn't have his or her turn yet may want to ask you, what were you doing during that strange 2020 when all the coronavirus phenomenon came up? And when that moment arrives, we'll want you to say, with all the pride of the world accumulated in your chest, I was a student and I helped keep the schools open. I did it because it was my turn.